Right. Okay, we have some very delineated camps here in Zwolle. And we've still got the Vincent van der Voort fan. I think there's some overlap. The Venn diagram of Wright and Whitlock fans evidently doesn't overlap, but Vincent van der Voort encompasses.
Yeah, that plea for calm from George Noble fell on deaf ears.
100. I ain't calm, Robbie's just sense. Come on.
Luckily for RJ Rod, by the way, he knows somebody who's a farmer, so he doesn't have to look after this cow.
Right, okay.
96.
I still think there are questions here that are raised by this revelation you have brought us.
Well, one other question is the fact that he's been sticking to a very rigid routine. He's quite a superstitious character, it turns out, is Roby John. And he's been eating steak every night. And he's...
Well, the cow's not going to like that.
Well, the cow's not going to like that, but there is an element of irony. The fact that this weekend is serving him well so far, and he's sticking with it, and yet he may well end up receiving a cow. Who I hope doesn't immediately turn into a steak on the back of that.
Another one in there. Not to be.
105. Did you require 150?
He's got options here, Peter, right? Typically, most players will go on the treble 20s first start at least, but he's looking downstairs at the 19s.
90. Someone you require 65.
Well, there's a 5. That leaves tops. And the Whitlock step is employed. And employed to good effect as well, as Simon Whitlock breaks Snakebite's throw to take the opening leg. Now, he was superb yesterday, and he needed to be against the very impressive German debutant Florian Hempel. It seems that Simon Whitlock is destined to be involved in matches with quite magnificent opponents, because Florian Hempel, the bouffanted German former handball player, was really, really good. He was beaten 6-3, but Whitlock needed every single point of that 103.5 average to overcome him. Now he faces Peter Snakebite Wright. It could be Roby John Rodriguez in the quarterfinals. I mean, this is either a barber's dream or a barber's nightmare, this little section of the draw.
Yeah, he had to work hard yesterday, though, because Hempel, having broken back to get level at 3-3, then missed a dart at double 16 to go 4-3 up, and then Hempel missed a bullseye to, again, draw level in leg 8. So he was 5-3 down, but he could so easily 5-3 up had he finished off those two particular opportunities. As it was, Whitlock relieved to come through at the expense of the 29-year-old from Cologne. 103.5 the average, as you say, and 6 out of 12 on his doubles. He's had a bit of a brief hiatus on the European Tour. He missed or didn't qualify for the last 2 European Tour events. Made the final at the German Darts Grand Prix. Didn't enter the tournament in Hildesheim earlier this year.
Yeah, I think he's out in the Philippines playing a tournament over there.
85.
Actually, prior to that win yesterday, his most recent win on the European Tour was his semi-final win, prior to losing to Michael van Gerwen in the final in the German Darts Grand Prix in Munich.
Yeah, beat Max Hoppe in that one, survived match darts to do it, but another Euro Tour final, something he did last year. And Whitlock has left himself double 13. It's something he does leave on occasion. And he's quite happy to pin it. And a 15-darter and a 16-darter in the opening two. And he finds himself 2-0 up.
Yeah, Whitlock does this thing when he's on 68, for example. He goes treble 14, double 13. I've seen him do that many times. Nobody else does that, as far as I'm aware. He does like double 13.
Yeah, and he does practice all the doubles. I know that might sound weird. They're professional dart players. You'd think they'd practice everything on the board, but it's just not the case. They tend to focus on the things they use more, but Simon Whitlock makes a point of practicing every single double, and that's why he does go some odd routes. You watch, if he leaves himself 78, almost everybody goes treble 18 for double 12, but the Wizard extra 20 for double 9, which can cause him problems and has done in the past. We'll see if he's employing that route today.
96.
Simon Whitlock, the winner of the very first edition of this tournament in 2012. We can talk about this now because he's not in the room. It was Paul Nicholson he beat in the final years, 6-1. That was when it was held in Newland. It's been around the block as this tournament in terms of its location. This is its second visit to Zwolle. A couple of this, Venray also held a couple. Maastricht in 2017.
60.
Just the 60 from Snakebite, but he's got a bit of a cushion in this leg. Whitlock's just taking his foot off the accelerator, but it might be back on. Right back on it. First maximum of the match. And Whitlock has beaten Peter Wright the last couple of times they've played, both on big stages as well.
Simon, you require
So the European Championship back end of last year, and then the Grand Slam of Darts the following month, only about 2.5 weeks later. Needs to avoid that dart in the treble 20, and does do. Keeps it nice and high.
142.
Took out a 138 check out yesterday, Peter Wright, beating Richie Edhouse, but the 142 is not going to go. And it's just
Simon,
a bit laboured at the minute. I mean, he's 18 darts thrown. He's not even had a dart at double yet, Peter Wright.
Double 10 then for Whitlock for 3-0.
30. Peter, you require
Huge let off. That was for a double break of throw and a 3-0 lead. Peter Wright could well turn this game around and start throwing far better stuff, but he needs to see this off, and does do.
Peter Wright. Fullback Simon to throw first.
Well, he still has that break. It's a holder throw for Peter Wright, but it could have been very, very damaging indeed had Whitlock found that double break. That's it again, Dan.
Well, it spurred Peter Wright into life.
A round of applause from his other half, Joe.
98.
Now then. Now then, Snaky. Oh.
135.
Well, he wasn't aiming there, I can tell you. He would have been looking right down the middle between those two goalposts that he directed.
99.
It took him a 21 darter to get that last leg on the board. Otherwise, he would have been 3-0 down. And then all of a sudden, he's got 5 perfect darts in this leg. Looking good to break the throw.
50.
Or at least he was. But maybe not so much now. Maybe not so much now.
Easy for you, 136.
Terrific timing from Simon Whitlock, making his move at just the right moment.
100. Simon, you require 24.
He missed 3 darts in the last leg. Wizard. And 3 more misses there. Allow Peter Wright a chance to level this game. A chance that maybe he did not expect to have 15 seconds ago.
Oh, he's inside on double 9.
No score.
And he's busted his score to go all the way back to 36, see if he gets the chance. Simon Whitlock blowing the hands.
Well, you practice all the doubles, Simon.
How's your double 3? How's your double 1?
4. Peter, you require 36.
Well, this is just beginning to eat away at Simon Whitlock. This is a massive source of frustration for him, because he could so easily have been, well, he could so easily have been 4-0 up. As it is, it's 2 apiece.
Well, could have been, really should have been 3 clear darts at 40, missed tops and 10s. 3 clear darts at 24, missed 12 and 6, and even then he was allowed back to try and polish off the remaining 6. But the number 11 seed and former
60.
European champion, Simon Whitlock, has just offered Peter Wright a golden ticket back into this
59.
match.
Yeah, and he was also a finalist at last year's European Championship. 2 times a finalist on the Euro Tour last year, as well as that final this year. He does have
100.
a lot of European pedigree, does Simon Whitlock.
Oh, the Euro Tour really used to be where he did his best stuff. Enormously
58.
popular player. That sort of fans' favourite mantle has now passed to Peter Wright, when it really was Simon Whitlock in the early days of the European Tour. But this is their 27th meeting, these two. Never has Simon Whitlock managed to win 3 games in a row against Peter Wright. And yet, if he wins this one, and he should be 4-0 up in this, it would be a 3rd consecutive.
97. 134.
They've got a fairly expansive repertoire, this lot. 104 for Peter Wright. Single 18 leaves double 16. And a 104 checkout, and everything just seems to be coming together for Peter Wright after all those reprieves earlier on.
Well, if Peter Wright has suddenly settled, and that was a very Peter Wright leg, 15 dart, 104 checkout, if he has settled now and starts playing properly, then Simon Whitlock is in trouble, because he should have been 3-1 or 4-0 up in this game. And Peter Wright is growing in confidence now. He has had a huge let-off, and he might be about to punish the wizard.
59.
For the title this year, Peter Wright came so close to winning the last Euro Tour against Ian White. Missed opportunity late in that game to sneak it away and pick up what would have been a 7th European Tour title. He is the 2nd most successful player on this circuit, behind, of course, MVG.
Yeah, he's without a title of any description since
140.
September of last year, with that Pro Tour success that he had. One of 3 titles he won last year. He also won the Melbourne Masters and another Pro Tour event in the summer,
87.
when he beat Rob Cross in the final of one of those.
Yeah, but no Euro Tours, which is certainly a big
47.
change from the years that preceded it.
Yeah, the start of 2017 was very
90.
impressive for him as well.
40.
A couple of finals at the start of 2018 for him.
Double 10 for 4-2, and Peter Wright.
Peter Wright.
2-0 down, should have been 4-0 down, but
So
now
Peter
finds
to
himself
the
4-2 up, and he chunters away to himself because he isn't happy with how he's playing, but he must be absolutely ecstatic at the position he finds himself in.
Well, he must be. I mean, there's no 2 ways about that, because he'll know that this could have been a very, very different situation.
86.
Yeah, 5 European Tour titles for Peter Wright in 2017. 3 of the first 4 that year. He was out of the traps very.
Yeah, he was incredible that year.
But he's not won a Euro Tour title now since
140.
Lisa that year, so that's almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, and look, much has been made of Peter Wright. He's had and his form over the last
60.
year, 18 months, but after the greatest year of his career, and one of the greatest years we've seen from anybody in PDC darts in 2017, was always going to be a tough one to live up to. But
60.
it wasn't without its high points, and we should remember he's he made the Grand Prix final last year, and he was better than Van
97.
Gerwen for the first 4 sets, and it was only 2-all. Van Gerwen was clinging on. Peter Wright could have been 4-0 up in that game, and I don't think he would have lost that final from that position had he been so. And Peter Wright, we could be talking about him being a
59.
reigning major champion right now. But it didn't happen. The Premier League has been poor, but I think part of that has been overshadowed,
55.
or at least he had a
Video
distraction in that
156.
his wife Jo's gladly fully recovered from back problems and the surgery she had. That was all going on during it. That's got to have been a distraction. Another one in there. Peter Wright does not spin the 156, but he is going to come back. And Simon Whitlock he's just gone missing. Send out the search party. He's not hard to recognise, but where's he gone?
Uruguay 18.
That's 6'4" with dreadlocks and a big beard. Find him.
Double 4 for a 5-2 lead.
14.
Whitlock, though, has given himself at least a shot at this. It's an almighty big shot, and it's the wrong side of the wire. And this just about sums up his afternoon so
40.
far.
Peter, you require 4.
Oh, where's he go there?
2.
There seems to be a lot of obstacles in the way of that double 2 bet. And he's ended up in the madhouse, and Whitlock may just sneak this one. Can't find the treble 20.
40.
Well, the trebles have just proved so elusive for Whitlock over the last
2.
well, 3-4 legs maybe.
He is averaging more than 20 points less than his average yesterday, Simon Whitlock. And he finds himself 5-2 down. And the Wizard must be wondering how this has all gone so horribly wrong.
140.
The fact that Peter Wright was able to miss 6 darts at a double before finishing the job tells you the trouble that Simon Whitlock was in that.
Really is chalk and cheese, this game, from their performances yesterday. Whitlock involved in a real high quality battle with the little known Florian Hempel, 103.5 average and won it 6-3. Peter Wright averaged 98.5 in a really good contest with Richie Edhouse that finished 6-4 to Snakebite. But here, it's an 85 average, plays an 82 average. And it's not all been lots of misses at doubles, there's just been poor play in various bits of the legs. The scoring phase, the setups, the finishing.
59.
Just not happened. But Peter Wright has been less bad than the Wizard over the last 5 legs.
94.
Well, 5 legs without reply for Peter Wright. He may well see that run ended in this one.
100. Simon, you require 76.
Simon Whitlock should get a dart at a double here. And he does. It's a double 18.
He's on the 8 legs.
And he has stopped the rot. He's got 1 leg back on the board. 5-3 now, after those 5 without reply for Peter Wright. But Peter Wright throwing first here for a 6-3 win and a passage into the quarters once again.
Well, his scoring has been so poor, Simon Whitlock. That's his first dart at double for 4 legs. It's the sort of game where anything could happen. You can't rule out a Simon Whitlock comeback here because it's not as if Peter Wright is dominating. Whitlock only has to raise his game by a relatively small margin and all of a sudden he's on top.
Yeah, but Peter Wright has many more vids like that, then Whitlock has got every chance.
Well,
I suppose every player, if they are to have a deep run, is entitled to maybe at least 1 scruffy performance, and I think this is definitely going to be this one for Peter Wright if he does indeed come through, because there are just one or two signs of life maybe from Simon Whitlock all of a sudden here.
A third maximum for the Wizards.
100.
He's stolen darts. I mean, when Michael Van Gerwen won this title last year, he called it his worst ever tournament win. He should have been beaten
100.
a couple of times, to be honest. Darryl Gurney was all over him and threw away his lead in the semi-finals. He was fortunate to come through some of his other ties, but ultimately it was 65. His name on the trophy once again.
37.
Well, Whitlock in pole position to break. Things might just begin, or are beginning to get a little bit testing here for Peter Wright.
Important last dart, leaves him on a 2-dart checkout. Whitlock should get a dart for 5-4. He's gone tops. The downside is you block a bit of the bed, but not that bit on the right. Oh,
60.
not that bit, Simon.
100.
So Peter Wright, 2 darts away. And now just 1 dart away from a place in the quarterfinals on the European Tour once again. And I think you call that winning ugly. That was